Let's talk about what's going on in Russia, where Vladimir Putin is just absolutely taunting Donald Trump. He's telling state-run media how gleeful he is that Donald Trump's cabinet picks the perfect picks for Russia. That's what's being said there to state-run media, their newspaper Pravda, where Vladimir Putin saying, "This is great. I am so happy. This could not be a better situation for Russia." Also, you have senior advisors to Vladimir Putin that are out there saying that they've made deals with Donald Trump's transition team. Whether or not that's true or not, they certainly feel emboldened to say that sanctions are going to be lifted against Russia. Also, you have state-run media just telling people, hang in there. Donald Trump's going to do whatever we want in just a few more weeks. So just hang in there, folks. Let's just take a look at what's going on in Russia as they are now taunting America, treating America like one of their satellite countries that they dominate. Here's from this is from the New Republic. Vladimir Putin is gleeful over the Trump cabinet nominations. It says Tulsi Gabbard's nomination in particular is making Vladimir Putin very happy. He told Pravda, their paper, how gleeful he is. In Pravda, a Russian newspaper where Vladimir Putin talked about this, they were fawning over what a great pick Gabbard is for Russia. They noted that the CIA and FBI in the United States are now trembling after Donald Trump picked Tulsi Gabbard. The article also noted that Ukrainians considered Gabbard to be an agent of the Russian state. It goes on to say Trump's decision to nominate Gabbard of all people signals his distinct willingness to cozy up to Putin. Nominating Gabbard for the Director of National Intelligence is the way to Putin's heart, our friend Ruth Ben-Ghiat told The Times. Let's take a look at this communique that Russia is putting out, how an unnamed member of Trump's transition team, this is what they allege in Russia at the highest level, reportedly told Russian state media that Trump might lift sanctions against Russia and normalize trade and economic relations. Here is what it says. It says Trump may lift sanctions against Russia upon the end of the conflict in Ukraine. A representative of the transition team for Donald Trump told the agency under such a scenario, trade and economic relations between the countries could be normalized. And it goes on to say that Donald Trump may cancel or soften some of the U.S. sanctions against Russia if the conflict around Ukraine is resolved. The forecast was made by a representative of the transition team of Donald Trump in a conversation with this Russian propaganda source right here. Also, you have Russian state TV showing on 60 Minutes that this is what they're saying, that Trump might even try to basically threaten Ukraine right now and forbid Ukraine to strike Russian targets with long-range missiles even now before Donald Trump's official term starts. Meanwhile, in Russia, by the way, hat tip to Julia Davis, who runs Russia Media Monitor. She does a great job reporting on what are they talking about in Russia. So hat tip to you, Julia. Great work. Meanwhile, in Russia, after hanging out at the Kremlin, Karen Shakhanazarov reports that Putin constantly watches Vladimir Solovyov's program. He's the one who always goes on there and kind of mocks Donald Trump, mocks Melania. This is like their Sean Hannity there. They're showing the nudes of Melania there frequently. And as Julia Davis says, this reconfirms that Vladimir Putin is fully on board as Solovyov, imagine like their Hannity, makes these nuclear threats, genocidal comments, and makes a complete and utter mockery of Donald Trump. Now, meanwhile in Russia, Julia Davis also says pundits discussed the U.S. missile authorization and opine that Moscow need not even retaliate, but just wait for Trump to rescind it in 2 months. Piers Morgan, a big Trump supporter on his program, though, seems to, on like the key issue here, this is what he says. So Russia can illegally invade a sovereign democratic European country, murder thousands of Ukrainian civilians, then rope in North Korean soldiers to help them wage war. And the West's correct response should be, check notes, give Putin what he's stolen. Do F off. Well, I mean, Piers Morgan, you were out there supporting Donald Trump, like on the key issue, which could be Vladimir Putin taking over Europe and threatening your home country as well. I mean, you supported the ultimate appeasement here. Like, I don't get how you square the propaganda you spewed with Donald Trump with this statement. I mean, it's that cognitive dissonance that we talk about. It's like Donald Trump this is like the most important issue to Piers Morgan, and Donald Trump basically backs Putin. Yet Piers Morgan backs Donald Trump. Like, make it make sense. It's like all these groups who Donald Trump like literally threatens their existence. Like, yeah, but we're still going to support that guy. Why? The price of eggs. Yeah, but what about the price of eggs? Like, you're just, one, lying about the price, and two, to the extent they went up was caused by Donald Trump. He's the one who caused it by his mismanagement of COVID, a manufacturing recession before COVID, his complete mishandling of the economy, adding $8 trillion of debt, giving tax cuts to billionaires, letting billionaires and major corporations price gouge consumers. But you want to blame that on Biden? Okay, whatever. Your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA, and they use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long. No matter the weather, get better sleeps. I do now thanks to Miracle Made sheets. They're luxuriously comfortable, and without the high price tag of other luxury brands, I think they are nicer than the sheets used by some 5-star hotels. They're infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets, so no more gross odor. So stop sleeping on bacteria, which can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Just sleep clean with Miracle. Go to trymiracle.com/Meidas and try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order them today, you can save 40%. And if you use our promo Meidas at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep now with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Meidas, M-E-I-D-A-S, and use the code Meidas to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Meidas to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Senator Tammy Duckworth wrote the following: Tulsi Gabbard is a Putin apologist, conspiracy theorist, and friend to a Syrian dictator who gassed his own people. Not only is she unqualified to be director of national intelligence, she's likely compromised. You think? This is as Vladimir Putin is gleeful. He's saying how happy he is that Trump's doing what he wants. Tammy Duckworth goes on to say, that's not someone who should be protecting our nation's secrets. Again, it's like, yeah, obvious. And by the way, as Julia Davis says here, I'm not going to play the clip, but she says, here's her original translated clip from 2022, where Tulsi Gabbard was perturbed about alleged U.S. attempts to overthrow Putin. State TV host Vladimir Solyevov, who I just mentioned, described Tulsi Gabbard as their girlfriend and agreed that she is Putin's agent. That's what they're saying on Russian TV. Now, Tulsi Gabbard denies that, but that's what they're saying on Russian TV. This is from the New York Times opinion piece. The American election results were received with enthusiasm in Moscow, writes Mikhail Zygar, a Russian journalist. To many in the Kremlin, a Trump presidency might bring about the collapse of the American state. So just so you know, the top people in the Kremlin are saying the Trump presidency could bring about the collapse of America. Like, that's what they're saying right now at this very moment. You know, one of the things we see with Donald Trump nominating people like Tulsi Gabbard, this Peter Hegseth guy as Secretary of Defense, a Fox weekend news host, to be in charge of our nuclear arsenal. Of course Vladimir Putin is gleeful. You picked an idiot to be the Secretary of Defense. And one of the things they're doing right now is that when enrollment is a struggle for the military, and one of the things we see that's critical to the military and their recruiting, whether you like it or not, is that the way they've kept their recruiting up is by recruiting from minority groups and women. So now you're going to attack that. You're going to say that's so woke, and attack women combat veterans and attack women soldiers. Here is former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley. Here's what he had to say at a Bloomberg Center convention just a minute ago. Play this clip.
Don't lecture me about women in combat. Women have been in combat, and it doesn't matter if that 7.62 hits you in the chest. No one gives a if it's a woman or a guy who pulled that trigger, you're still dead. So if you meet the standards, our military must be and always should be a standards-based, merit-based military, period, full stop. It doesn't matter if you're white, if you're black, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a Catholic, if you're a Protestant. None of those identification things matter. What matters are standards, readiness standards. Do you meet the standard or not? If yes, pass go, collect 200, join the infantry.
And then, of course, Fox kicks into overdrive trying to protect Tulsi Gabbard. Here's what they say. Play this clip.
And those who get rich from the status quo in D.C. are always going to be threatened by anyone demanding accountability. And this explains a lot of the frenzy over Trump's recent cabinet picks. Tulsi Gabbard as director of national intelligence? You think Trump had given it to Putin himself?
Yes, Laura, I do think that because, I mean, take a look at what Tulsi Gabbard's posting. She's spreading these lies about U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine and how NATO is the problem, and saying that Russia is justified in invading Ukraine because of how NATO's treated them. That's not a normal response to blame NATO and blame the United States for Russia's unlawful invasion, unless, of course, you're supporting Russia and you're an apologist for Putin. You should not be the director of national intelligence, in my opinion. But that's what's going on in Russia right now. Gleeful, happy, Trump will destroy America, they're saying. That's what's going on there. So again, I just want to educate you what's happening. Do with the knowledge what you will, but that's what they're saying in Russia right now. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thank you so much for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram at MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.